Good day, my C++ students, and welcome to our Zoom session. Hey, I can check Gilbert is here. Is that Gilbert?
Yes, sir, it's Gilbert right here.
Hello, Gilbert. How are you?
I'm doing great today, sir.
Oh, great. And I can see Hamdullah has also joined us. Good morning, Hamdullah.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
My body is fine. My voice is gone.
Oh, that's okay. As long as you said hello to me, right? Great. Gilbert,
Yes,
where
sir.
are you logging in from, Gilbert?
I'm actually logging from Pretoria, Gauteng.
Okay, Pretoria, Gauteng. Hey, I lived in Pretoria for a couple of years. Lodium, is that very far from you, Gilbert?
Not too far.
Okay, I went
Not
to the
too
teacher
far.
training college out there. Transvaal College of Education. Yay. Okay, great. So Gilbert, I'm sharing my screen and let's see what we have in store for today. And so today is the 11th of June. Thank you for registering in advance on the Zoom session. And I had a few questions out there, Gilbert. I'm not sure if you answered them.
Yes, some of them I did.
And what was one of the questions, Gilbert?
Which one? Concerning
Zoom session.
assignment 3 or the quizzes?
No, so just the Zoom session. I asked, one of the questions was, do you like C++?
Oh.
Yes.
I actually said it was growing on me.
Okay.
Because I have prior knowledge on a language called Java.
Yes.
So I kind of adapted. I kind of got some concepts from both sides, and it
Yes.
made it easier to understand C++.
Ah, that's lovely. So you are actually in a relationship with programming at this point in time, and that goes for everybody as well, right? So
yes.
In a relationship, you got to like being in that relationship. And like you said, it's growing. So there's a relationship with C++ and with programming is growing. By the way, you said you had Java as a previous relationship, Gilbert?
Yes, sir.
Right, so that was your previous relationship. But whatever you learned in your previous relationship with Java, you can always take that along to your new relationship with C++. Get the relationship story, Gilbert?
Yes, sir. I get you.
Great. So it's just the syntax that kind of changes, Gilbert, right? So maybe in Java, yes. Right. So maybe in Java you you display it in a different method, and in C++ it's C out. Maybe in C it'll be printf. Correct. Right.
Yes.
But the basics of programming will remain the same. So you'll have an assignment statement, you'll have a looping statement, you'll have a decision-making statement, and that, I guarantee you, has been consistent throughout my teaching and programming lifespan, right? From 1986. I don't think you were born then, Gilbert, were you?
Not yet, sir.
Okay. So for today's lesson, I got a little introduction with Gilbert. We had a question and answer session, and Gilbert tells me that he is part of my Group 7E. So let me log into my Group 7E website. And let me just check if Gilbert is really and truly a participant in my class. Gilbert, I'm going to log in. I hope you can see my screen. I'm gone incognito. I like this black incognito. Gilbert, can you check it out, Gilbert?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can see your screen.
Right. And I hope you can't see my password, Gilbert. I'm glad you're laughing. You got my joke. Thank you. I do have a sense of humor. I don't know what my wife says. I don't have a sense of humor. Right. Okay. So here I am, cost 70, and I'm going to check if Gilbert is truly my participant, and I'm going to check whether he is logging into the system. So Gilbert, yes, Gilbert Junior Awa, you are truly, and thank you, Gilbert. You logged in 52 minutes and 49 seconds ago. Is that correct, Gilbert?
Yes, sir.
Well done. You see, this is part of me having these Zoom sessions on a Saturday. It keeps you in touch with your Group 7E. It keeps you in touch with me. And you don't forget about your relationship with C++ and with programming. Right, Gilbert?
Yes, sir.
If you are in a relationship with C++, you got to make sure that you are giving it attention. And that goes with anything as well, right, Gilbert? No attention,
Yes.
then you tend to forget about the programming statements, you tend to forget about the person in the relationship, and the relationship fizzles out. Gilbert?
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Great, great, great. I'm talking about the relationship with C++ and Java. What were you thinking about, Gilbert?
No, nothing else. No.
Oh,
Nothing.
okay, okay.
Strictly that relationship.
Okay, good, good, good. So part of me keeping you in touch with C++ and this relationship that I want to establish with you guys is to have lesson quizzes. Now, I don't know if you have attempted these lesson quizzes, Gilbert.
Yes, I have attempted.
Okay.
I think some
So
of
let
them.
me check. Let me check now. Gilbert says he's attempted it. Which one have you attempted, Gilbert?
I'll need to go check on my website.
Okay, you can
Wait
tell
first,
me. Lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let me quickly double check. Okay, I'll be back. Wait, I have to attend to something quick.
No problem, Gilbert. Okay, fine. I can see Trevor's there. Trevor, are you around, Trevor? Okay, all right, doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is I would like you to ensure that you go and answer these lesson quizzes because that will keep the relationship with C++ alive, okay? So I've done 15 lessons and each lesson quiz aligns with the study guide lesson. So if you go over lesson 14, you come and answer the lesson quiz for lesson 14, and I'm just going to preview this quiz, and the answers are very, very easy, right? A block variable is only accessible outside the block, true or false, right? I'm going to just say false. I don't know. I'm going to just run it, right? Next page. We generally use a while loop when we can determine in advance the number of times the loop will execute. Aha, check in advance. True or false? I don't know. I'm just saying true. Right? I'm just taking a wild guess. A situation-driven loop. Ooh, the word situation-driven loop ends when a specific situation is reached. Must be true. Why would he have that there, right? I'm just guessing again. Let's go on. When using a while loop, remember to always apply the following rules. So there's some rules involved in this while loop. Inside the body of the loop becomes false at some stage. Oh man, I'm just going to say all the above. I can't read all of those things, right? And let's go next. When a loop is used to accumulate the sum of a sequence of values, accumulator. That's a nice word, right? It's a nice word. So again, I think it's true. Why would I put that there if I'm not going to ask you whether it's true or false? There's a do-while loop is a pre-test. So there's a pre-test and a post-test. So you get like preschool, which is before school, post-school, after school, or in your case, postgraduate. Postgraduate is someone who's graduated and they've, I think it must be true, man. It must be true. No, maybe false, maybe false. I don't know. I'll have to go back to this lesson 14 in the study guide. Examine the following snippet of code. X is equal to 1, while X is less than or equal to 5. Aha! So before I enter this loop, I had to assign a value to the value to variable X. Oh, there's something times X. C out X squared is, oops, I don't know, I'm just gonna guess. No, maybe it just does nothing. I think it does nothing. I don't know why they did that. And, oh, there's a post-test loop. Okay, Gilbert, you're back. Let me see if you can answer this question, Gilbert. A while loop is a post-test loop. Just now we were talking about pre and post. Gilbert, do you know the answer, whether it's a pre-test or a post-test?
Kind of doubting.
Take a guess.
I believe it's, sir?
Take a guess, wild guess.
Yes, true.
Okay, you say it's true. Let me go check that answer. No, Gilbert, a while loop is not a post-test, it's a pre-test. So it's got to test the variable before it enters the loop, okay? I think you should go over lesson 14 again, right? Gilbert, what do you
I
say?
should. I should. I should.
Yeah, just go over the important points in that lesson. Okay, Gilbert, right? You see, your relationship with C++, it's a bit on the rocks right now. You got it wrong over there, Gilbert.
It's still growing, sir.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, it's still growing. Okay, it needs to grow a little bit faster because you're writing an exam at the end of the year. Okay, and you got assignment 3 going, right? You can't take forever, right, Gilbert? Okay, let's go next page.
Sense.
And oh, we did this block variables that are declared inside a block. Do you guess, Gilbert? True or false? Block variables are variables that are declared in a block. This was part of lesson 14.
True.
True. Okay, let's see if Gilbert can rectify this relationship that he has. Yes, Gilbert, you are right. Well done, well done, well done. Everybody clap hands for Gilbert. Give him a clap. I can see some participants out here. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Where's the reaction thing on the Zoom? Okay, doesn't matter. Well done, so he's got that right. So a block variable are variables that are declared inside a block. So a block could be like the while loop. Within those curly brackets, yes, that's the block, right? Okay, so I'm going to finish up, right? I can go on and on and on and on, but I'd like you guys to do this. So Gilbert, today for homework, you're going to answer this lesson 14 quiz. It's not going to take you long, and don't worry, there's no marks for it. And if you get it wrong, you can attempt it again and again and again. Okay, Gilbert? Okay. All right, well done. Thank you, Gilbert. Okay, so I'd like you all to do that. That's for my group 7E. Let me see what else I have to do with you guys for today. So I spoke to you about the group 7E walkthrough, lesson 14 quiz. And right, let's talk about assessment 3. Now, assessment 3, ma'am has been very kind and very understanding. She actually said that she's going to extend the due date, 29th of July. So that's why I'm kind of laid back, taking it easy. Gilbert, what do you say? We've got some time to play, right?
There's no such thing.
Right, we've got some time. It's only the 11th of July. Oh, we've got plenty of time, right? And we want to get it right. We want to do it well. We don't want to copy anybody's work. We don't want to go and mess it up, rush through the work. We want to do it well. So that's why I said, hey, let's take it a little bit easy. Maybe I'll get to know Gilbert from Pretoria. By the way, Gilbert, I'm in Durban. It's a bright and sunny in Durban. How's the weather out there, Gilbert?
Very similar, but it's kind of windy, but it's similar. It's bright and sunny.
But it always has a chill factor, doesn't it?
It does, sir.
Yeah, you can't be out with shorts and a t-shirt like me. Okay. All right. See, you have some time to play around with that, right? So today's lesson, I just want to talk to you about lesson 17, because guess what? In the in ma'am's study guide or in her assignment briefing, it says you need to go over lesson 17 to 23. Gilbert, have you answered lesson 17 to 23? All the exercises?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. I can see you're not spending enough time with this relationship that you have here, Gilbert. You got to spend time with this, right? In terms of programming, you got to spend at least 6 to 8 hours a week on programming exercises. The only way you understand programming, Gilbert, is if you do it. If you don't do programming, right, Gilbert? So I'm reading from the screen. It says there's an automatic extension, 29th of July. Gilbert, you plan yourself that you are going to submit assignment 3, say the 2nd week or 3rd week of July. All right? So I'm going to look at, oh, look at this. Please key in your name, Prinavin Governor. Please key in the name of your school. Gilbert, this looks familiar, Gilbert.
It does. It does.
Yeah, Matiso, is that you, Matiso? I'm just going to mute you, Matiso. I think your mic is on. Right? Okay, so this looks familiar. Abdullah, I'm not sure if you can check this out. Check the way I have my columns here. Abdullah, what do you think about this, Abdullah? Oh, okay, Abdullah. Oh, yes, he told me he has a sore throat. Right. Okay. So this looks pretty familiar. This is part of. Hey, Samuel is here. Samuel, my top champ. Hello, Samuel. Please unmute. I'm so glad you're here. Samuel, is your mic working, Samuel? Samuel is a bit shy, but I'm going to tell you about my top student, Samuel, right? Let me just go quickly to my website, and I'm going to show you that Gilbert, start competing with Samuel now, because Samuel, he's aiming for like a 10-second car. So, you know, let me go and find Samuel. Let me go and find out. Samuel's not, he just doesn't want to say anything, but let me see if he's here. Oh, wait a minute. I know where he is. Samuel de Klerk. Yay, my champion. My champion. Samuel, is this you, Samuel? 1 minute, 6 seconds. That's how fast he did his quiz, Gilbert. 15 out of 15.
Total.
Yeah, Samuel, say hi to me. Come on. Oh, please mute if you're not. Oh, I'll have to fix my mic. Yes, Samuel, you got to fix your mic. How's your camera then, Samuel? Can you put your camera on? Oh, Samuel is shy. Don't be shy. You're my top student. You're my champ, right? Okay, right. Let's go on. So Samuel made a good point, and I got to take notice that if you're not talking, please switch your mic off, right? Right. So let's go on. And if I notice, this is the assignment question 3, which we're going to talk about in the next week or two. I got to keep you all interested to come, right? It's like a forthcoming attraction. There's the buzz. Check it out. Check it out. So Alhamdulillah asked me about setting these columns. You'll notice English, maths, life orientation, history. Nice column out there. Oh, check my marks. What a good mark. I'm top student, 80. Symbol. And I got the average mark working. I got the highest mark and the lowest mark. And it's looking pretty cool. Now, I'll give you a hint. I use something called Set W, right? Alhamdulillah, don't worry, I emailed it to you, okay? You don't have to take any notes. But the rest of you, if you want to get your columns nice and clean, nice and, you know, there's 8 spaces here, 12 spaces there, 16 spaces. When I talk about spaces, I'm talking about tab. So Alhamdulillah asked me that question during the course of the week, and he's here today, so I'm answering that question for him. Right, Gilbert? So there's a clue to what you got to do for this assignment question. Let me see what else they talk about in this assignment 3. If I click on assignment 3, they give me some hints as to what I need to cover. And one of the important points that they want to test you is on functions. So if I look at the first question, they're talking about functions. Now, if you haven't gone over the exercises in the study guide, I would suggest that you don't attempt the assignment questions, all right? Because now we've got some time. And trust me, I know how UNISA students work. Just to let you know, Gilbert, I'm a UNISA alumni. I studied at UNISA. It took me 9 long years to get my qualification. Don't ask me why it took so long. Okay, in between I did a teaching diploma and all that goes with it, Gilbert. But
wants to come back
when I had, when I was studying and we were, you know, time was of the essence, we couldn't finish an assignment or we had to do it. We'll quickly look at the assignment question. Oh boy, what do we need to do? We'll go to the textbook or the study guide. We'll look through it. We'll do 1 or 2 exercises and we'll try and attempt the assignment question. In programming, it won't work like that. You have to go methodically through the lessons in the study guide. And I have to admit, the study guide has been written quite nicely. And even though they mention that you have to use you know, lessons from lessons 17 to 23, there are a few of you, I wouldn't mention names, student Delarend, oops, I just did, that needs to go over the previous lessons. So it doesn't matter if you start from lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or all the way to 16, because programming, you can't start in the middle of everything. You got to go through it methodically. You cannot do the for loop or the while loop without understanding the concept of an assignment statement. You cannot work with the switch statement without understanding the concept of selection, if, else, or. You cannot do a nested loop or a nested if statement if you don't understand how a single if statement works. Okay, so that was a question from one of the students. They asked me, but sir, I'm having difficulty in lesson 17 or 18. I don't understand functions. Or I don't understand parameter passing, or I'm not sure how this loop works. Sometimes we've got to go back in time to discover what we have, what's our shortcomings, and then we kind of go back to lesson 17. All right. So that's my advice to you, and you have time to do it. All right. Gilbert, what do you think about my strategy, Gilbert? Gilbert. Oh, Gilbert is
Yes,
busy.
sir.
What do you think about
Can you
that,
please
Gilbert?
repeat?
If you are having difficulty with lesson 17, it'll be a good idea to go back to the previous lessons and exercises.
I believe going through the study guide is good.
Yes, yes. And you cannot read the study guide, Gilbert. This is not, let's see what my daughter's doing. I don't know what she has yet. It's not something that I can read and say, this serves to inform that is this, have read and accepts the conditions of service, da, 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 da. No, you cannot just do that. You have to go and work with the programs. So let me take, for example, I have the study guide, and I'm going to show you an easy method of doing it, right? So here's the study guide. Gilbert, I'm sharing my screen. Are you able to see my study guide, Gilbert?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. So I'm going to take lesson 17. And in lesson 17, they talk about functions. And let's see what's so important about this function. Right? Now, I don't have the luxury of, spending an hour with you every day because, I also have other relationships to consider, like my full-time job and dog 101 and wife 102 and daughter and son and dogs and all of that, right? So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what are the important points in lesson 17, 18, 19, so that can help you with the assignment 3, because that's our strategy right now, Gilbert. Our strategy is get all the assignments done, finish it up, right? Assignment 1, 2, and 3, because each one has a contributing mark towards the course mark. Once I do that, I get my exam admission, we start working on past year exam papers, right? And once we do that, I promise you, you will pass. I guarantee you, Gilbert. You listen to me, and if you don't make it at the end of the year, I will refund you your complete fees for C++, cost 1511. What do you think about that, Gilbert?
Same thing, sir.
Right. Are you going to take me up on the challenge?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's look at the important points in lesson 17, right? So in lesson 17, they talk about a function call. A function is called by its name, like how I'm calling Gilbert and I'm talking to him. Gilbert, what's your function name, Gilbert? Gilbert, what's your name? Gilbert. Oh, I lost Gilbert now. Okay, Gilbert's name is Gilbert.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, Gilbert.
Yeah,
just like Gilbert has a name,
Gilbert.
and he has been christened, we also christen the functions. Every function has a function name. However, we can call a function in a variable. There we go. This can you see says variable name equals function. But let me put a little disclaimer. It will only make sense if the function is returning a value. And quick revision, Gilbert. A number in C++ can either be an integer or a float or a double. right? So those are the types that you can return. They say a value returned by a function can be used in a more, we don't want to complicate ourselves, right, with that. We can also use a function in a cout statement. We can do that as well. Now, this is important because in the past year examination papers, they would like you to find out the output of a particular snippet of code. And that's where you need to know all these important points of, how do we write a function? How do we call a function? And I looked through some of the past year papers. Functions are appeared in the past year papers. And Gilbert, I'm not a betting man. I don't gamble. But here's another bet I'd like to take with you. Gilbert, I think functions are going to appear in the 2022 paper. What do you think about that, Gilbert? Okay, anybody else would like to answer? I think Gilbert's having some issues with his mic.
Definitely will. Yes.
Yes. Who said that? I can't. When I'm sharing my screen, I can't see who's talking.
Yes.
It's. Is it Chepo? Is it Tembe?
Yanis.
Yanis, what do you think, Yanis? Do you think functions are going to appear?
100%, definitely.
Yes, definitely. Now, if Yanis says functions are going to appear, that means that what else will appear? Reference parameters, value parameters, function calls are going to appear. Passing of values between functions is going to appear. Can you see how we can now begin to spot what's coming out in the examination? So now that you went through all of that, I decided, hey, I like maths. In fact, I love mathematics. And there's exercise 17.3. So I said, the only way I'm going to teach you programming if I practice what I preach. And Yanis, didn't I mention that you got to do programming, Yanis? What do you say?
100% you did.
Yanis, you got to do it. You can't just, read a program. Now, here's the example that they used, right? They talked about in exercise 17.3. And in 17.3, it says, about 2,500 years ago, there was a Greek guy called Pythagoras who was interested in politics, science, and philosophy. He and his followers made many discoveries. One very important discovery of Pythagoras was a special characteristic of any triangle. We talk about Pythagoras, the sum of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Oh, you got to state that it's a right angle triangle. So this is mathematics. There's a mathematical formula out there. And they asked me to write a program to ask for the lengths of the two shorter sides. Use the POW and SQRT functions to calculate and display the length of the longer side. Now, I know that you guys have worked through lessons 1 through 16. You've done lessons and the exercises, exercise 17.1, exercise 17.2, exercise 17.3. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how the function works with this exercise 17.3. And it just so happens that I selected mathematical example, right? So watch this, just check how fast I'm such a fast typist, right? I'm such a fast typist. File, new project, I've opened code blocks. Yanis, please tell me that you can see my code blocks there, Yanis.
I can say it, yes.
Okay, Yanis, how do you spell your name? Y-A-N-I-S.
Y-A-N-N-I-S, yes.
Y-A-N-N-I-S, great. How's that, Yanis?
100%.
Yanis, how's that? Yanis, are you there?
That's 100%, not 100%. Looks,
Oh,
I can
thank
see
you,
it.
thank you. That's a very meaningful name, Yanis. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to now Control A, I'm going to delete that. Hey, who wrote on my screen over there with a red mark? Okay, Yanis, it so happens that I have the solution already worked out for me. Yay. Right, I'm very happy. I'm so lucky. I have the solution worked out and I'm going to talk to you about this. Right, so we'll talk about a function. Right, now if you want these things, Yanis, I could give it to you, but I'd like you to struggle a little on your own. Now, Giannis, watch this. Giannis, I'm a very fast typist. Giannis, can you see that, Giannis?
I can see that.
Am I a fast typist or what, Giannis?
You're using Control C.
Oh, man. You're too clever for me, Giannis. Yeah, Control C. Okay, what else am I using? Control C and Control?
Control V.
Yeah, you're too clever, Giannis, right? So here we go. So Giannis, I'm now going to tell you a story, right? I like this. Do you like stories, Giannis?
Yeah, they're interesting.
Okay, I like stories too, right? Do you have kids or nieces and nephews, Giannis?
I do have a kid.
Okay,
I've got a
good.
daughter.
Now there's a nice story you could tell them, Giannis. You can say, today we're going to talk about the Pythagorean theorem, right? Once upon a time, there was a guy by the name of Pythagoras, blah, 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 blah. But in this case, in line number 1, we have what is known as a comment statement. In line number 2, I'm calling up, you can call this a file, right? A library file, right? IO stream. And guess what, Giannis? I'm calling up another file called CMath, right? Inside CMath, there are, you can think of it as instructions, and I need to have this line out here, Giannis, because if I don't have it, then I cannot use sqrt function and I cannot use power function, right? Giannis, you with me, Giannis?
I'm with you.
Right. Okay, and I'm going to prove it to you. I know you think that I'm not, you don't believe what I say. Giannis, you believe me, Giannis?
I believe you, sir.
Oh, you're not supposed to, Giannis, but anyway, don't worry. But thank you for believing in me. But you must always have a critical mind. I may not say everything that's true, right? I may make a mistake now and then. And most importantly, I'm here to teach you, and you, at the end of 50 minutes, you must learn something new. So Giannis, I chose this example because I want to explain to you that sqrt and pow are functions that were written by somebody else. Giannis, did you write it, Giannis?
Yeah, no, I didn't write it, no.
No, you didn't write it, right? And those kind of people, they believed in sharing their knowledge, right? Like me, I'm sharing what I know, okay? And I hope you're listening to me, and thank you for joining me. And I've got so many participants here, I'm so happy, right? So somebody else wrote this function called pow, and somebody else wrote this function called sqrt, and they kept it in this file called CMath. And we simply imported it into our program. And Giannis, do you notice my program is pretty short? It's only 13 lines. Giannis?
Yes, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. And Giannis, you know why
it
can be 13 lines, Giannis? Because I am using somebody else's function, right? That function is stored in the file CMath, right? Now, it says in line number 6, I'm declaring 3 variables A, B, and C, and they are declared to be of type float. So Giannis, you told me that you have a kid. If this was the story of the 3 bears, you could say, once upon a time, there were 3 bears, mother bear, father bear, and baby bear. But Giannis, for you, I got to tell you, once upon a time, there were 3 variables, variable A, variable B, variable C. Giannis?
Yes, I'm listening.
What about my story? Is that a nice story, Sam?
Yes, we're listening to it.
Okay. Will you tell your kid the story about the 3 variables, float A, B, and C?
Yes, one day.
Okay, one day, not now. Maybe they're too young, right, for that. But you like my story and you understand it, right? So in line number 7, we have input. Please enter the value. Well, not input, it's the output statement, but I'm requesting the input in line number 9. And in line number 10 is the processing, and line number 11 is the output. So here, Giannis, in any program that you see from now onwards, you're going to have the following, at least the 3: input, processing, and output. So Giannis, here's my input that's taking place out here in line number 9 and line number 10. There's some processing taking place, and I am calling on a function called pow and sqrt, which was written by somebody else, and they decided to store it in the math file. And finally, I have the output. So I always like to run the program, Giannis, to see what's going on, right? Anything for that matter. As soon as you buy a new appliance or anything, without reading the instructions, you just want to try it out. So there we go. I'm going to try it out. So let me go and do a build and run. Let's do a build and run. Do you want to run the program? Yes, I do. And there we go. So it says, please enter the values of the two shortest sides of the triangle. So I'm going to enter in. All right, so I'm going to enter in 3 and 4. And Giannis, the output says the length of the longest side is 5. I got to tell you something else, Giannis. I used to be a maths teacher, right? And I know that this is a Pythagorean triplet. So I knew that the answer is going to be 5, all right? I know you think that I'm so good and everything, but I didn't write this program, right, Giannis? So if you notice, I'm going to now prove to Giannis that I need this file. Giannis, can you see this in line number 3, Giannis?
I can see it, see Matt.
I'm going to make that into a comment statement. A quick revision, Giannis. What when you make a comment in a program, what happens with the compiler? While I have a sip of my coffee.
It doesn't appear in your, when you run the program, it doesn't appear into your output.
Okay, that's true. And it also, the compiler basically ignores that. Okay, Giannis?
Yeah.
It ignores a comment statement. It doesn't matter what you say in the comment statement. I can even say, I like Giannis over there. It's going to ignore that, right? I like my Giannis. The compiler will ignore that. I hope you don't mind I'm ignoring you, Giannis. Giannis?
I'm ignoring the
I'm fine with it.
Don't be fine with it. How can I ignore you, my student, Giannis? Okay, all right. So that's what now let me run this program, right? So again, let me see. Somebody has their mic on. David, is that David?
Trying to say,
mute you, David. Right, unless you have a question. Right.
don't
So
mute me. I was trying to ask.
oh, sorry, David. Yes, raise your hand, David. Is the raise hand
Yes.
function working here?
I don't know. I don't see the option. Sorry.
Okay.
I tried looking for it. I
Ask the
couldn't
question,
find it.
David. Go ahead. Yes, David.
I wanted to ask, what does the set F do? Like on
Where's
online
set
10,
F
they
over
see out.
Where's
There
set?
is
Oh,
online
set
10.
F. Oh,
They
that's
see out
excellent
set
question.
F and then input output.
Oh,
I get the precision would be like 2 decimal points or something.
Ah, okay. David, you caught me there, David. I don't know what this precision means. I don't know what the set F means. David, can I answer this question after I sort out Giannis's, comment statement, David?
Okay, cool.
Okay, give me a second.
Precision is like a decimal places. I even know who Shrem.
Yes. Who's this? Who knows this? Batabele, talk to me. Batabele, talk to me. You said you know what the set F does. Oh, don't be shy.
Please, retuse, go.
What?
She's
Anybody know?
gone.
Oh, she's gone.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a try.
Yes.
I think the
Alhamdulillah, go
set
ahead.
F. I
Okay,
think the set. Sorry, I think the set F. It enforces the precision to remain at 2. So yeah, it keeps
You're
it
on the
fixed.
right track. I think you worked out assignment 3. That's how you know all of this, huh? Well
Yeah,
done.
I am working on it.
Good. Thank you. So let me just go back to the question that I had for Giannis. Giannis said there's a comment statement, it ignores it. And let me run this program now, right? Let me go and do a build over here. Let me go and compile this program. Ooh, it gives me an error message. Let me put my logs on. And the error message it says is that it doesn't understand what this SQRT does. Power was not declared in the scope. SQRT was not declared in the scope. So part of today's lesson was to talk to you all about debugging, finding errors in programs. Because as a programmer, that's what you'll be doing all the time. You will be trying to remove errors. You want to make sure that your program runs. So in order to now make this run, I've got to have this library function included, include CMap. Can you see how important that is? All right, Giannis, you check it out. You got to go and include some library functions so that you can use SQRT and POW. Now, if you had a user-defined function, which you guys are working with, for example, display. I'm just going to talk about this function here. Quickly, I'm going to talk about student details, get marks. These are functions that you wrote, right? There's another one, pass or fail. There's another one, display. These functions are written by you, Giannis, not by somebody else. Then you don't have to go and have this include CMap in there. And you need that for assignment 3. So can you say, even though I'm talking about the functions, I'm still keeping in mind that I have to answer an assignment 3. And here you have an understanding of how we use a function, how we use somebody else's function, and how it is that I'm borrowing their work, I'm using it in there. Now, if I build this project, it should work, right? If I compile the current project, yay, it says 0 errors at the bottom because I'm using somebody else's work. But for assignment 3, you will need to go and ensure that you create and write your own functions, which I've done in previous Zoom sessions. Go and look for me on YouTube. Fun with functions. What do you think about that, Giannis? Fun with functions. Ah, Giannis. I lost Giannis. Okay, right. But here we're having fun with functions. And why I mentioned this to you, Hamdullah, I'm not sure if you're there with me, Hamdullah. If
Yes,
I want
I'm here
to
with you.
use set W, Hamdullah, you asked me a question
sir.
over the week. If for the benefit of everybody, would you mind sharing the question, Hamdullah?
The code.
No, not the code. Don't share the code. I want you to ask the question. You asked me a question
Okay.
on email, Gmail. You sent me.
Okay, sir. So my question was, I'll just think about it and tell you that when I write out the code and I run it, I was getting the marks and everything, but I was not getting in the same column. Everything was in a different column whatsoever. Like
Oh,
yeah, there's
so you weren't getting it like me, Hamdullah?
yeah, yes,
Oh, it was all haphazard and everything. It was all over the show. Isn't that so?
yes.
Right. So here I am, Hamdullah. I'm answering your question for you. And in order to
Thank you,
do
sir.
this, I used a programming line called setW. Now, if you don't know what setW is, go to your best friend. You know who's my best friend, Hamdullah?
C++.
Yeah, C++. Google's my best friend, right? Google's my best friend. So Google,
Okay, I'm
Google
gonna
the
go.
setW. setW is a C++ manipulator which stands for set width. Aha. What do you think about that, Hamdullah? Hamdullah?
I got the same thing.
Yeah,
Yes, sir, I
you
got
got
the same thing.
thing. Yeah, set W, right? Set W. It allows you to put these output in nice, lovely columns. Now, David, you also asked me a question just now, David. David, are you there?
I'm here.
Yes, David, what did you ask me? What question did you ask me, David?
Yeah, the set F. Yeah,
Yeah,
what it
set F.
means.
Yeah, you know who I'm going to ask, David?
Google. Yeah.
No, my best friend, right? I'm going to ask my best friend, what is this? And Google doesn't mind if you root him. What is set? Not set F. You said set. Was it set?
Yeah, set F. Yeah,
Oh,
it's set
set
F.
Oh, look
Yeah.
here. Google is even giving me a suggestion. What is set F in C++?
Mhm.
There we go. What is set F? Well, how do we use it? There we go, David. I'll let you in on a little secret. This is how I became a teacher and a lecturer and a tutor, because all I can do is I can read, and I got a best friend to help me. Right? Okay. So set F is fixed. It displays the decimal point and the trailing zeros for all floating point numbers, even if the decimal places are not needed. So that's the answer, David. All right. Now, I hope I taught you a strategy of how to answer, or, you know, when you are having difficulties in life, you go to your best friend, Google, right? Okay, not in life, in programming, now you don't know what SetF is, right? Okay. All right. I know there was a nice question, yeah?
Thanks.
What? Let's see if, let's see if Google can answer this. Hey, Google, give me an answer. What to do and what? Whoa. Right. Cool. Okay, we're not shocking with that. So set precision, set F. If you don't know what's going on, you go and Google it, you find out what that is. All right. And if you are having, you know, if you haven't sorted out this issue of set F and see out precision, David, it's difficult to move on in life. You got to sort out that issue in line number 10 so that you can move on to line number 11 and line number 12. Right, David?
Yep.
Yeah, don't let the problem fester and fester. See, I'll talk to you about philosophy at no extra charge, no extra cost, right? So in this program, lesson 17, we called upon somebody else's function. We didn't write our own function. But in your assignment, you will have to go and write your own function to display values, to output values, to calculate some value. And one of them is the first one there, they talk about body mass index. So in this function, or in this program actually, they talk about get data. Prompts the user to enter the weight and the height. Now, David, it's always nice to work, when you're working with programming, to start from a template, something that you know, and you try and match what we did in the Pythagorean theorem to what is expected in assignment 3, question 1. So I also like to say that, you know what, it helps me when they give me some output. And they say prompts and returns the weight and height of the, you need to have the height and the width of this. So if I look at this, it says, the body mass index is the method of estimating a person's body fat levels and a person's weight and height. So if you are going to use weight and height in your formula, you need to request that from the user. So, David, I need the weight and height, right, David? Right? So guess what, David? I'm going to say, please enter the weight of the person. How's that, David? How's that,
okay.
David? David.
Can you hear me?
Yes, David. David?
I'm saying it's okay. It's fine.
It's okay. Right?
Yeah.
Can you see that, David? I understood what's going on in exercise 17.3. I looked at the assignment question and I said, hey, I can use that as a template. I'm going to use the knowledge that I learned and I understand that's going on in exercise 17.3, and I'm going to apply it to the assignment question. They ask for the weight and they also ask for the height. See out, always be very, very polite, right? Say, please enter in the height, right? Oops, where am I? Please enter the height. And when I'm polite, I need to have height there. Right? So can you check how you start to work out how you answer a programming task? You start with what they want. And always, David, if the lady asks for weight or height, oh, by the way, don't ever ask this question to ladies, okay? They don't like to know their weight. You don't ask them. I learned that the hard way, or even their age, right? So please enter the weight of the person, but not if you are a lady, right? You can put that in, right? Okay. Also the age, right? Do not ask the age of the lady. They'll always make it a little lower than that. So there's my input part of my program, right? Now, I also mentioned that you have to do something about processing, and you'll find that in the question. So in the question, they spoke about body formula is body weight by the square of the weight, mass divided by weight. So that's a mathematical formula. And I got to tell you this, David, there's some correlation with being able to do well in maths and being able to do well in programming, right? I can't put my finger on it right now, but I can tell you maths is important, right? But it doesn't matter if you don't know maths very well, you can always, wing your way through it, okay? So they'll also give you the formulas as well, so that will help you. And I also noticed, because I know programming a little bit more than you, they say they've got below 18.5, between 18.5 and 24.9, 25.5 and 29. There we go, they're talking about some selection that needs to be made, right? And again, David, don't ever tell the lady that they're overweight, right? Don't ever use that word, right? Or they're obese, right? Okay, just say they're looking fine, healthy, and all. And if they ever ask you, how does this outfit look on me? It's always looking nice, right, David? Trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
That's the golden rule, man. That's the golden rule.
That's the golden rule. Now, can you see whoever set this question? This is definitely a single guy out here that set this question. Because you don't ask people's weight and you don't mention that they're healthy, overweight, or obese, right? But be that as it may, we have to answer this question, right? Assignment.
Yep.
And they tell you that, listen, you need to write a program that calculates it and displays. So the weight according to the body mass index value. Now, I can tell you this, David, even if you don't know your program is not working, you're sitting in the exam, you don't know what is working, you go and just type out this. The weight of the person is, right, David?
The weight, yeah.
Yeah. The height is, right? David, I didn't even work out how this problem is run, whether I know how to do it or not, right? But guess what, David? I'm going to get some marks to pass. What do you think about that, David?
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, right? I'm going to get some marks to pass. I'm just going to show you that this program will work, right? This program will work. David?
So do you get marks if your program doesn't run? But let's say most of the logic is there.
Right. Now, David, when the markers are marking your paper, it's highly improbable that in 2 hours you're going to get all the programs running, right? I'll give you an example. The next assignment, flight booking, that will take you a good couple hours to answer, maybe days. In 2 hours in the exam, you're not going to have everything working, right? And a question like that won't appear. 17 odd years I'm doing this thing, 17 plus, a question like that won't appear. And I don't think it's going to appear in 2022. So you need to ensure that you have part marks that you can get. By the way, that's how I passed. I had some part marks along the way. I wasn't brilliant. Just worked hard. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know how to, and I have a best friend too. So David, you need to ensure that you get marks to pass, even in this assignment as well. Right? Some of you will be sitting 29th of July trying to submit it, and you decided you want to get part marks, and this is how a method of getting it. And I can assure you in the memo, the marking memo, there will be marks for declaring variables. There will be marks for, outputting the variables and so on, right?
Okay.
Right. So let's just run this program quickly. Run it. Oops, I should have compiled it first. Let's do a build quickly. Compile the current file. Yay, build and run. Please enter the weight of the person. What's your weight, David?
No idea, man.
Oh man, come on, don't
No
lie.
idea.
I thought only the ladies don't want to tell. Okay, Giannis, you prepared to tell me your
I
weight,
hardly get
Giannis?
on the scale.
65 kgs.
Okay, Giannis is 65, right? What's your height, Giannis?
Nice.
6.9.
Oh, okay, 6.9.
Man, it's
6.9?
tall.
That's tall, man. Come
Yeah.
on.
Hey, bruh.
Giannis, what's your height?
Sorry, come again?
1.7. In meters, Janus.
In meters, yes.
Okay, 1.7.
Yes.
Okay. The weight of the person is 65, the height is 1.7. Can you see, without answering the question, in working out the body mass index, I am able to at least get a program compiling and running. What do you think of that? Janus, David?
That's brilliant.
Thank you. I know I'm brilliant. Yes. I've given you a strategy of how to tackle programming. All right. And trust me, I know what I'm talking. I wrote a thesis, about a good couple 100 pages about all of this thing, right? Okay. And I'm in programming for a very long time. So if you take this strategy, you'll go long in your relationship with programming in C++. Now, I'm not going to give you the answer to calculate the body mass index, but if you read through the question, no, I don't give you answers. You'll never stop. If you read through the question, the answer is there. Right, David? Read the question.
Yeah.
The BMI is calculated by dividing the person's body mass by the weight, by the square of the body height in meters. Okay? The result is usually expressed in units of that. Now, there's the formula even given to you. BMI is equal to weight divided by height squared. Huh? And if that fails, David, you know who to ask.
Yep. But at this point, I don't think you need Google.
I don't need?
Because it's there.
Yeah,
I don't think you need your best
man,
friend.
come on. You need to know about your best friend. Everybody has to have a best friend, right? Okay. Right, so there's body mass index. There's body mass index, right? There it is. Hey, there's a calculator here too, okay? Okay, let's go and ask what is body mass index formula. There we go. By the way, David, I'm just trying to kill some time, okay, David? You know, I'm just pulling some time here. David, for till 1 o'clock, right? David, that's a joke, David. Okay, so there's a formula out here.
I'll get it next time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Don't worry, I understand. I'm also a bit slow on this, right? Okay. The body mass
That was a
index
joke
is
as
weight
well.
divided by height squared. So in the case of Janus, he was 65 kilos divided by 1.7 squared. Okay, and you can work out whether he's okay or not. But I can't give you the answer because that's not what I need to do. So once you got the BMI, the body mass index, you need to determine whether they are underweight, healthy, and so forth. And that you'll need to have an if-else statement, a selection. You got to make a decision in life. And that's why I love programming. You know, you can make a decision with the if-else statement. If I am hungry, then eat. If I am lonely, find a wife. If I am sad, watch a happy movie. Okay.
I'm sad. There's two people who had their hands up for a while now.
I'm so sorry. Please, David, why didn't you stop me, David?
I tried.
Okay. Sorry, David. Come on, man. You've got to be a little bit more forceful. Go ahead. Who wants to ask a question?
Me. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I WhatsApped your question. Please, may you see your WhatsApp?
Oh, you know the rule when I'm lecturing, you must put your cell phone off. Right?
Okay, no problem, sir. So, sir said that helped me with my set W.
Yeah.
Okay, so according to the programming here, it says on line 173 that set W was not declared in the scope.
Yes. Alhamdulillah, go read the
W.
second email I sent you, Alhamdulillah.
Oh, I'll see it now.
Hey, Alhamdulillah. Okay. Thank you, Alhamdulillah. I sorted your problem out. And you didn't listen to what I was talking over here about library functions, Alhamdulillah.
Sir, my head is off. I'm sick.
Okay, you're spinning. Okay, don't worry. It's okay. Right. Next
Can
question,
tell me
David.
again, please?
Sorry?
Can you just show me the library function again? Or I'll watch a recording. It's okay.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah, and make sure that you like the video on YouTube, okay?
No problem, sir.
Okay, and tell all your friends and family to click like as well, right? And increase the number of views. Okay,
I'm
David.
the only programmer in it, sir.
Oh, you're the only one doing programming. You must
Yeah.
encourage other people to do programming too, okay?
Okay, sir.
Right. We have a scarcity of programmers and ICT people in South Africa. Right. Let's talk about David. Who else has a question, David?
I've got a question.
I believe they dropped.
Oh, you see,
I've
you're
got a question.
Chat, David.
Yanis has a question.
Who has a question?
Sir?
What's the easiest? Hello,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, when you are writing a function and then you want to assign parameters, what's the easiest way to decide if the parameters should be a reference parameter or a value parameter? How do you see that?
Excellent question. Excellent question. I like that, right? Now, I know you want to test and see how much I know or don't know, okay? So in the query, if you are asked a function and you want to determine that this function needs to pass the value back to the main program, then you have to ensure that it is a reference parameter with an ampersand in it. But I can tell you this thing, right? If you're not sure whether it needs to be a value or a reference parameter, make everything reference, okay? If you listen to my lecture from last week and the week before in Fun with Functions, I made a joke about this. I'm not sure if any of you are, you go to the bar or whatever, but if you're not sure about your drink and you want to ensure that you have it, make sure it's a double. The same thing with your values of numbers. If you're not sure whether it's an integer or a double, make it a double because it covers the integer part. So the same thing with your parameters. If you're not sure whether you must use a value or a reference, make them all reference parameters. Okay? Does that answer your question?
100% it does.
Thank you. Thank you. Next question. Next question. Come on, it's 1:05. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Hamdullah has to go to work. Yes. Kesi Winkosi. How do you pronounce your name?
Kwenziwa inkosi.
Coins in
But you
Kosi.
But they can call me Kwenzi.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm struggling on how to draw a variable diagram, especially in exercise 5.1. I know I'm left behind, but if you can show me how to draw a variable diagram, I can see that in assignment 3.
Yes. Okay, a variable diagram, that's a very, very important concept, right? A variable diagram basically means that you as a programmer want to determine what the computer is doing, the compiler. So you are going to trace through the program. We also used to call variable diagrams tracing, right? Trace tables, right? We're looking for what's going on there. Last week's Zoom lesson, I assume you didn't attend. You missed last week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yes. I spoke about debugging and I gave you a hint about how you'd work with that. I also spoke about this a couple of weeks ago in terms of how we draw a trace table. And I used Excel in order to do that. So very quickly, I'm going to show it to you. Let me do another screen share. And I'm going to take Excel because I find it difficult to draw on my computer. You will need to ensure that you have all the variables that I'm going to use, right? So let's see. I'm going to give you a quick hint, but you'll have to watch my videos on trace tables, right? I've got a couple of videos on YouTube. So just to whet your appetite, you need to ensure, can you see two screens on the screen? I'm sharing my screen. I've got the,
yes, I see.
And I've got Excel there running right at the side. So let's just close that. Right, so let's do that. So I'm going to have variables, line numbers, right? So I'm going to have first column called line number. And whatever variables I'm using, I need to find out what's going on in that variable. So weight is a variable, height is a variable. So you'll notice that in line number 6, I'm starting off, I don't have anything for weight, I don't have, oops, I don't have anything for height. But in line number 7, height, I said, please enter the weight of the person. And well, I still don't know the value of that. I still don't know the value of this. Right, and line number 8, it says, and I think if the Giannis's weight was 65. That's when I entered it, right? And in line number 9, again, I'm asking for some output. I don't know what it is, but I still maintain the value of that. And the height, I still don't know what the height is. And I go to line number 10. This is still 65. And the height, I think Giannis was 1.7, right? So can you see what a variable diagram does? It tells me what's going on in the program line by line, all right? Alternatively, you could use a debugger, right? The online debugger, which I did last week. You can actually watch the variables as they change. And this is a very, very simple thing. Learning programming, you start with the simple and then you go to the complex. But variable diagrams is very, very, very important. Now, lucky for us, the assignment is only due on the 29th of July, and you're talking about lesson exercise 5, and we are in exercise 17. So I suggest you continue with exercise 5, 6, 7, 8 to catch up with us. Okay?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And please watch my videos on variable diagrams. Just search for me on YouTube, all right?
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Amdullah, please, by all means, you may leave. It's not compulsory to come to the lectures. It's not compulsory to stay. I always say that, you know. Thank you for joining me, Alhamdulillah. Bye. Okay, so next question I have. Anybody else with a question, or can we stop the recording? Let's just stop the recording. Thank you very much for joining. You can stay on. We'll ask. I know some of you are shy to ask a question. So let me just stop the recording. And where's the Zoom session? Stop the recording, stop the recording. Yeah. Stop the